Every corner, every lap is more like you're playing a game of chess. You have to line up what's going to happen a few steps later, and if you get something wrong immediately, you've messed up, you know, the following 2 or 3 corners.
You really have to be pushing the whole time to carry the momentum and the flow, but you also have to be technically very proficient around there.
Mid-Ohio, I think, is something that is in a world kind of all its own.
It has everything that you would want in a racetrack from a layout standpoint. The fans know their sports car racing. They're ready for you when you get there, but the racing is fierce and it really tests you.
Mid-Ohio is just one of those places that it's just so rhythmic, but it's also so technical. So very often you don't get a blend of the two things. I think Mid-Ohio is probably the epitome of both. So it puts a lot of pressure on us as drivers to execute and not make any mistakes.
When I get specific into my thoughts of Mid-Ohio, I think about a place where you need to be able to turn and brake at the same time. And this is one of the biggest challenges for setting up a race car and for a driver to get a really good consistent flow on the racetrack. Because what happens when you turn the car and you brake at the same time, you're asking the car to do 2 different things, and oftentimes that makes the car want to spin out or go into oversteer. So it's really a compromise and a battle to get a car that's just perfect, and that means that a lot of times a car you might like, your teammate might not like. So certainly I think about compromise when we go to Mid-Ohio, but I think if I were to take all the laws of averages of all different racetracks that we travel to, Mid-Ohio is the most consistent and purest form of a traditional road course that we have in the U.S.
Mid-Ohio is a very special place for me personally. It's the closest track that I had to my hometown, and it was the first place I ever watched a professional race. I remember being 11 years old and sitting at that race and thinking, man, one day I'll be there and I'll do something like that. Fast forward to last year, and it's where Wolf and I got our first victory as a team with Team Falken Tire. It's where I got my first victory in the American Le Mans Series, and it's one of my favorite tracks. So there's just for me something very special about that place.
Mid-Ohio has always been one of my favorites. It's a really technical track. It's got a really unique flow to it. There's a lot of elevation change there as well, but everything is medium to low speed, and it's technical in that your placement is really critical around there. You don't drive around Mid-Ohio, you have to kind of strategize your way around the track. So it's one of those places where you really have to be neat and tidy and thinking far ahead, and it's just a great place. The fans love it. There's people camping out all over the place. It's definitely, homegrown American racing. I love it.